Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Starrapter, and this is a review I've been waiting for a very long time. Today, I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review for Star Wars Light of the Jedi, written by Charles Soule. This is a brand new era in Star Wars storytelling. Light of the Jedi introduces us to the High Republic. It kicks things off for this brand new era of Star Wars. I do want to thank everybody over at Disney and Lucasfilm for sending me over an advanced review copy. This book will be out on January 5th in just a couple short weeks, so make sure you go ahead and pre-order this book wherever books are sold. So the High Republic, it's a brand new era of Star Wars storytelling, and it's set 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. It's about the Republic and the Jedi, and they're at this era where they are at the absolute peak of their existence. They are in a golden age. There's peace. They don't even have to have much of a military. And outside of, the in-canon universe, why this is so significant for Star Wars in general is this is our first real interconnected story approach to the publishing with the comics, with the books. Nothing has been done in this scale before. They've been working on the High Republic, these 5 different authors between the comics and the books for the last 2 years or so. So they've been, painstakingly plotting out the characters and the events, and they're all interconnected, all interwoven. We also have A Test of Courage written by Justina Ireland. We have Into the Dark written by Claudia Gray. We have the Marvel Comics written by Kevin Scott, and we have IDW, The High Adventures, written by Daniel Jose Older. So these books and these comics are all going to come out at the beginning of 2020 and 21, and we are definitely going to see how these all piece together, and it's going to be something, again, that we have not seen in Star Wars, sort of like the MCU in sort of the multimedia approach, because we already have a segment of the High Republic in Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, and we will be getting a live action series on Disney Plus that is called The Acolyte. So yes, all this stuff is coming together, but it all starts here, and that's where this review is. With Light of the Jedi, we have this great disaster that happens, which really spawns all these storylines off of this one event that happens when a ship unexpectedly rips apart in hyperspace, and all the fragments of the ship are strewn around the outer rim, which is just a place that they are starting to colonize with the Republic. It is the frontier. The outer rim has not been really fully established yet. So we're having all these fragments going in certain systems, causing a lot of havoc, and that really jumpstarts things. We have the Jedi coming in, and they're helping things out. We have the Republic coming in, and they're helping things out. And they have to stabilize the situation because these fragments are very volatile. They're at, a pre-light speed vector. So they're able to cause extreme damage to not only installations, but planets themselves. So things are very serious. And, this is where everything begins. We also have these villains that are in the background called the Nihil, which are villains that we haven't seen ever before in Star Wars. And that's where everything sort of starts off. Going into the positives, let's talk about the world building, because this is a brand new era. I haven't seen this kind of world building since like the Phantom Menace. That's the kind of vibes I got from reading. And just, I take notes every time I read Star Wars books to just stay on top of things for canon and whatnot. I took 24 pages of notes on this single story, guys. Like, that is insane. There's so much awesome information here that pertains to the places, to the characters. We see all the different kind of technology, all the clothing, the vehicles. They went all out. And if you've seen that behind the scenes video from when they introduced the High Republic, they treated this like a movie. They had all these concept artists going and doing all the images of fleshing out what everything looks like. So we haven't seen anything, and I'm going to keep saying that throughout this review, anything like this before. So a huge part of this obviously are the Jedi, and we have not seen Jedi like this, because in the prequels we expected the Jedi to do certain things, according to Ben Kenobi, and well, this is really what the Jedi were like. They were not dogmatic at this time. We have such memorable characters that are introduced, like Elzar Mann, Azar Chris. We have Loden Greatstorm, the Blade of Bardata. We have Bel Zedafir. We have Burry. And that's just a few of the Jedis, and they're all very memorable. These Jedi have a different kind of vibe compared to the prequel Jedi. The prequel Jedi were basically all just warriors. Everybody was doing the same thing. They were just fighting battle droids and whatnot. No, these Jedi have much different ideals. They think a lot more than just fighting, right? They do not want to use their lightsabers, and they all have a different way of looking at the Force, which I thought was really cool. Avar Crest thinks about the Force like it's a song. And then you have Elzen Man, who thinks about the Force as if it is some kind of storm. So everybody, and then you have Bell Zettifer, who thinks of it as like a candle, a flame inside of him that is growing with intensity. So it's all these different ways that the Jedi are thinking, and the amazing Force powers that I do not want to spoil, obviously spoiler-free review, but we have not seen Jedi do some of the things they have done in this book, in this story, doing things just with lightsabers, but also doing things with the Force channeling and making it believable. The way Charles Soule writes these moments is really great, as it gives us an insight into these characters and what exactly they're feeling. I love how they all feel unique. Like, there's some characters that are more like a caregiver Jedi, then there's some characters that, you know, are more of like the journeyman, and there's some characters that are more on the ships, and it's like definitely adds to the variety and the overall vision for what I seen Jedi could be. And we haven't seen Jedi quite like this. It seems like the prequels, like the Jedi were such a narrow-minded kind of character, and we see them in the High Republic opening themselves up to the Force like we've never seen them before. And then to go off of the Jedi, we have the Nihil, and the Nihil are basically like space Vikings. They all wear these gas masks, and they have this kind of technology which will very much make the Republic very nervous because they are unpredictable. I love the hierarchy of the Nihil as far as like their ranking system, and what they want is to just claim everything. They just want to destroy and cause chaos, and they have a sort of like a leader, and his name's Martian Rowe. He is the Eye, and he is sort of intertwined with the Nihil, and he has access to certain technology and certain things that we haven't seen in Star Wars. But he, again, was a great villain because he definitely adds a lot more flavor, and he's very unpredictable. And we do not know what his, you know, his actual mission is, but the way he deals with problems, the way he's cool and collected, but on top of things and confident, he is definitely a character I just really gravitated toward. And it's nice to see that we have these characters and this faction that is different from the Empire, that is different from the First Order, that is different from the Separatists, and they feel like they're their own thing. And that's the one thing I was hoping we would get. It wouldn't feel like a repeat of the Empire or something, and they definitely do not. I will say there's so much so many different characters in this. There's so many different perspectives. This is the best way to write a story that opens up a new era of Star Wars, because we're getting to see different perspectives, from the everyday person that lives on a backwater planet, to the admiral of a Republic star cruiser, to the chancellor herself of the entire Republic, and from characters that are the bad guys, characters that are Jedi on their way out, characters that are Padawans, characters that don't even speak the same language as the other Jedi, with the one Wookiee, Buryaga Aggerberry. So there is so awesome as far as going over this entire time period and really seeing what's going on from all these different perspectives. I will say the pacing between the stories is great. There's a great brisk pace throughout the story, different perspectives. Again, we're getting that kind of fulfillment of the story, and it's going at a certain degree of speed, where you're finishing a chapter, it ends on a great cliffhanger, then you go to another story, you finish off that story, then you go back to another cliffhanger, and it creates this amazing tension. There's 3 parts of this book. The first part is all about the great disaster, and there's a countdown for each chapter. It goes from 3 hours to 2.5 hours to, you know, 2 hours, whatever, and it's like this constant like tension at the back of your mind, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen when the timer gets to 0 in these chapters? It adds that degree of, oh my gosh, what is gonna happen? And even though the first act ends, there is still that time period where it's like, okay, we got, you know, 30 days to solve this issue. So they always have that ratcheted up moment of suspense for what is happening. And also, just with the characters themselves, the situations that these characters are in really adds to that. Oh my gosh, Charles Soule wrote these characters so well, because I fear for these characters' lives and I barely know them. Like, I felt it. There's a lot of death in this story, but there's also a lot of hope. And that's what I think Star Wars is at its best, is when it adds that degree of equality, of that balance between loss and hope. And man, oh man, it's just, the scale of this thing was so epic as far as just overall approach to the storytelling, going from one storyline to the other, you know, solving a mystery, but at the same time having these huge space battles that we all know and love about, having these more personal stories, more of these adventures, all at the same time. Heck, we even get a crawl in the beginning of this thing, so you know that we're in for a ride. I will say the only negative I have about Light of the Jedi is with so many characters that were explored in this story, we did not really get a chance to really focus on any, to really have a whole lot of development. But there are so many moments of development in these characters. But I guess all I'm saying is I would have just liked to see more. Hey, this book could have been 600 pages and I would have loved it. But I do understand that that can't be a thing for a lot of Star Wars books. Most of the time they come in around 350, 400 pages. But again, this is not the end of the story. It's far from it. We are at the tip of the iceberg, guys. This is the beginning of the High Republic. And again, I don't think there's a better way that this could have been done for an opening story exploring a brand new era of Star Wars. So with that being said, I got to give Star Wars Light of the Jedi a 9.5 out of 10. Guys, go ahead, pre-order this book, pre-order the Audible file, whatever you got to do, because this book you're not going to want to miss. This is going to kick things off. I've never seen more world building in a Star Wars story than this, as far as the books are concerned. The new characters, the way that the Jedi think is something that I imagined that we haven't even gotten yet until this story. I cannot wait to dive into the other books. I really cannot wait to dive into the Test of Courage, to dive into the Dark and the comics as well, because getting all these different stories, again, this is a brand new approach. It's going to be like an MCU version of Star Wars, just with the publishing, but not for very long, because they're going to get those live action Disney Plus episodes with the Acolytes. So it's just a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Heading into this new year, the Mandalorian's going to be over, but all the eyes are going to be on the High Republic, and to see what the Lucasfilm story group and all the authors have been busy with over the last 2 years. And I'm just so happy that we finally get this, because it seems like we've been waiting for a long time, and we have been waiting, because this originally was supposed to come out in August, and now we're finally getting it. It's a great way to start off 2021. But man, oh man, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about Star Wars Light of the Jedi. Let me know in the comment section down below. You're gonna want to pick this one up. For more on Star Wars The High Republic, I have an entire playlist that talks about the Nile, that talks about the different Jedi characters that we know about so far. So make sure you go ahead and check that out, and do subscribe if you want to know more about the High Republic. I have my reviews coming soon for A Test of Courage and Into the Dark, and next month I will be talking about the comics as well. So make sure you let me know in the comment section below what you want to know about the High Republic. So that's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.
Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.